Hi everyone, welcome to another Tuesday video from me, Mike, at Lanzarote Information. And this week we're going to be talking about César Manrique's wind toys, juguetes de viento, wind toys. And you've probably seen a selection of these wind toys on roundabouts all around the island. And the idea today is to tell you the story of them and give you a bit of information about some of the main ones here. Now, Manrique actually started sketching these in the 1970s, and they kind of combined his love of art with his understanding of architecture and also with his understanding of relative movement and the way things move in the wind in relation to each other. Now, his objective in creating these was to replace the windmills, which from the 1960s, 70s and 80s onwards were slowly disappearing from the island. And prior to that time, Lanzarote was known as the sort of grain store of the Canary Islands because the island was covered in windmills, and the mills were used to grind gofio and whatever else wanted to be ground down into a flour-like material. And Manrique rightly identified that there was an opportunity to pay homage to the windmills of the past, but at the same time create something modern and interesting, but also that was dynamic in the same way the windmills were. So as I said, he started sketching them in the 70s, and if you go and visit the Fundación César Manrique in Taiche, you will find sketches of these sort of wind mobiles all over the place from that time. But the first one he built was the one which remains now at Arrieta Roundabout. And that was in 1990. And it's absolutely fascinating and brilliantly clever. It's very easy just to drive past it and not think about how clever the design of it is. The basis of it is an old truck axle which Manrique got from a scrapyard, and it enabled him to get the articulation he wanted. And the wind toy there actually does two things. It gives you an instant representation of what way the wind is blowing and an instant representation as to how strong it is. And it's got these kind of buckets which turn it around on that axle, showing the direction of the wind, but they also are pushed back according to how strong the wind is. Now, I use it all the time. I mean, every time I drive from Arrieta, which I have to do to go pretty much anywhere on the island, I look up at this thing and I'll know instantly whether it's a windy day and whether the wind's blowing from the right direction or the wrong direction, and there is a wrong direction here. So that one was his first and, for me, his most famous wind toy. And it's called Veleta, V-E-L-E-T-A. Now, the one pretty much everybody sees coming into and out of Lanzarote Airport is the one on the roundabout exiting the airport. Now, Manrique designed this and dedicated it to Jose Ramirez Cerda, who was the president of Lanzarote from 1964 to 1970. So it was a tribute to him, and an acknowledgement of the way Cerda allowed Manrique into the inner circle of government of Lanzarote, which helped shape the island's future. Now, the most complex of the Manrique designed wind toys is the one that is really a tribute to him, and that is Fobos, which lives on the roundabout at the entrance to the Fundación César Manrique in Taiche. Now, there's a lot of irony in the placement of it there because it's actually the site of where Manrique was killed when his car was hit by another car coming down the hill, and it was before there was a roundabout there. It's one of the biggest ones at 13 meters tall, and next time you're passing, stop if you can on one of the side roads for safety and walk towards it, because it's incredibly complex. There are so many moving elements with spheres within spheres, and it's a stunning thing to look at. It's been taken down twice in the 25 years we've lived on the island to have a full refurbishment and be brightened up. And it's recently, and where I'm filming this in March 2025, has received completely new lighting, which really lights it up interestingly at night. And the silver kind of sparkles as it spins around in the wind. And you'll also see a couple of small ones at the Fundación itself. So when you pay a visit there and you walk around the gardens, you'll find that there are smaller wind toys dotted around the place, again from his design. Now, since Manrique's death, the Cabildo has taken a number of his drawings and installed his designs of wind toys in various places around the island. One of the biggest is at the roundabout at Montaña Blanca, and we don't know the name of this one, and there's no description of it anywhere that I can find online, but it's an interesting one and worth having a look at. That's on the road between San Bartolomé and Tias, as I say, on the roundabout at Montaña Blanca. Now, people ask me all the time where they can get their own versions of these wind toys, and the Manrique shops, notably the one in Teguise, the one at Mirador del Rio, and also at the Fundación César Manrique, sell sort of smallish replicas of the big wind toys on the island, so you can take them home in boxes and assemble them and put them in your own garden. And what you will also find is that Manrique's work and designs on these has inspired loads of other artists on the island, and you'll find similar type of things for sale at garden centres, at some of the markets and in shops on the island as well. So there you go, that's the story of the wind toys of Lanzarote. I hope you've enjoyed that and found it interesting. I think more will appear in the coming years. I know that the Cabildo has a number of sketches that they've sought permission from the Fundación to create and install in various parts of the island in the future. But it's very, very much reminiscent of the island and of the history of Lanzarote and of course of César Manrique himself. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching, and do remember that we do a weekly news bulletin every Saturday, so do subscribe to our channel so that you get notified when that comes out. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give us a like. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Bye for now.